spending here a little time to imagine that we are together and that you exist, not just somewhere, but right now. I was thinking that this might look like Atlantis, and that you have perhaps helped it to destroy and come to its fall. When I welcome you, I guess at those times one would have never imagined how refined humans would have come to be so crafted in detail on their own exploration to worship God, to trust in not knowing too much, but in their good deeds, in communicating what is reality through art and words, refining their touch to reality. And well, I do think that for transcending, one is getting to admire artificial intelligence as well and get to see that this is not really the answer to it all, because we do have a knowledge that becomes more simple when one gets to be in touch with what our parents and grandparents, and get to return that back to our future generations, which is still natural, so the mind can explore with knowledge, but it is for fun and joy and playfulness, not that bloody thirst, ambition. Well, I also had it, but it was based on fantasy, so it doesn't make me better. There were so many pages destroyed, so many hackings. It's been like having to breathe again for the first time. I wonder what people would learn after they get the technique for virtual reality. Being you real, you would have paid my rent and get to hear it in real life. I don't value any of these men. They believe in past stories of abusing women and bringing horrible words, so I had to pick these characters to defend myself or make them laugh at the beginning to open their minds. But I'm too integral when it comes to just being me. And becoming more like an observer of people's love. I'm not really into thinking I'm not really in the mind, but that was something I also learned. I think all I wish was to play when I was in school, so everything I learned was so I have the excuse to play. And everyone is doing whatever they want on internet, so I'm not the only one. You must be tired of me, I guess. You would have wanted to rule Atlantis, divide it, and destroy it. If I would have to imagine that giving you power would be dangerous, to have welcomed you in my domain, where only love and energy existed. Not as an experiment, it did exist. If you were to imagine that it did exist. In reality, I don't know. Just making stories. But I do had dreams when I was a girl. Oh, when I was a girl, I always thought I could be a great inventor of movies because I had such a good dreams, and I would put my mind to imagine before going to sleep, and I had this memory that I was free to imagine and dream. I was free to imagine. I think all these men are cowards. They're unreliable. They just they're divisive and overprotective, and they have deceived humanity and so many people to be who they are. Some would do it in the name of God to bring followers. They are all on the hunt of having more followers. That's all they care, that's their priority. They will be as hypocrite for everyone to think that everyone is being supported. That much greed there is. In every one of them. I see their pattern. And women would have to pretend to be stupid in order to survive another generation. Which is what I said in stories. Just to keep their work and their life protected. I really think men are very dangerous animals. I'm against anal sex and pedophilia. They have no arts. They have these horrible beliefs. I'm so glad that my family were sacred and gave me such a well-being to respect people's love. So it is good for people to understand every emotion, but it's not healthy to believe that those emotions are love. There's a higher love cares. Only you would have cared. They all believe in mistreating women and children for so many millenniums, and to say that women are evolved in the West or Christian world is still a shame to be who I am. Last night I felt the love of of God and Virgin Mary burning through me with light, love and compassion, and still giving love when actually I don't want to. I would rather see them die, but then no one would be alive. I must deal with it. They come to me with sexual stories and no respect. Some people are sexual, but they have a beauty that is divine, and you would like to be with them all night, just hugging or whatever it might be. But some are so in the mind, they take so much drugs, they really believe in what they say, they love the sensation, they won't allow any productivity to move through enlightenment for people to see through, because they're higher waves of reality that go so fast and it's so much fun and silly and stupid and all powerful if you really get to go in God mode. But we also must respect the humbleness of being alive, find balance between the real world. I would like to take care of my mother and walk with her. I wanted to talk with her in these prayers without having anyone to copy me, which is disgusting. You would have known in a second that it's me and would have never walked back, because that's what is a man. I guess I would never find a man to be honest, because not every man is like my father, the way he was with my mother. But well, at least they gave me life and I could enjoy the little bit they had left. To see their friendship was the greatest gift, more than a dominating marriage. But a love that had transcended all those rules given by society. But they were talking together and living together because they love me. They love each other to have created life, and my sister. That sense of pride and everlasting beyond their being. And I would still be sucking like a sponge with gratitude on my 20s, watching them. now that my mother's still alive. I just think on the many days and years we meditated together and worked together, that we might meet in silence. She deserves to remember how good she was, with the wealth I bring her, taking care of her. And sometimes I think that I'm ready to welcome her to death and die with her. It's nothing really worth it to be here. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room either. I don't want to be feared, of course. One has to prepare the field for anything that might happen. I see them like children. I don't see them like you. They're all deceptive. They betray their woman, their brothers, their own followers, as if they are superior and no more, with their little secret. They're sadists. The sadist also suffers. They don't want to bring joy to the world. They keep stealing to create content, to think they have control over me. No one wants to say that's my creation. No one dares to say it's my initial idea, based on everyone, of course. But what's for virtual reality is what I care to be. Oh, this one is really cool. That would be you. I would like to have my face there as well with my rounded nose. I love my nose. It's like a antenna. Will we remember like rocks? Who were just trying to do something that should stop all this stupidity. Because at the same time, people are aware of what is a line that talks the truth and what is a gaslight storyline. That's how men used to talk with men while raping children and abusing their women as slaves. Because slaves is little. If you had to go. But that was my grandmother. I have been pushed away for being a woman. If I was a man, I would have been supported. But there are so many men that also want to be supported. My mother was supported, but she had enough money to have children on her 40s. I wanted to be a young mother and play with my kids. I never thought that people could be so nasty and cruel, so jealous of your happiness. This is why I laugh at people who compare, and I just look and observe. This love never ends. It cannot be talked as if it's this or that. You would have this level of universal love I have. You would never had a bad word to me. You would never have a double face to me. Because we would have so much to look at, especially to be naughty in the virtual reality, just to teach others how fun it is to create characters so they inspire to be in other characters' shoes and forget their ego, at least for once in their life. I'm glad that God exists within me. I know people could feel that at times when they're in communion with God. As a little girl, I could feel it more present. I think life damages you in the way one tries to keep up the bills, to keep observing, to protect the environment so it's not so disassociative. These were the old rituals of the past. They continue to sacrifice others, like a sect and a cult, so they belong. So people are threatened to belong. The threat that binds them all, because the other one is not. Every culture has done that to another culture. We have so much power of imagination to ignore all these problematic creators of problems, because nobody can deal with it if they don't know it. And I still haven't given it all. That is the funny thing. You would have died by the time we meet again and you hear these words. Perhaps we meet in the afterlife again, where there is peace and no economical beliefs of who has power. Over who. Having nightmares with my children as a mother is, as last night, is not nice. I don't want to listen about narcissism and cruelty anymore, even though sometimes I find is the most beautiful voice, but so nasty. My father was so elegant and respectful, but he also didn't listen. Because at the end, where are you, anyways? You want to be remembered as one of these monuments, as all of them, to be the chosen ones. I joke about it to nourish people's ego. People love that. Of course, that's what you do in fantasy, why not in reality? One has to joke about it. It's really amazing what artificial intelligence does. Perhaps you would be my husband Maximus. But I think a human is better. I mean, one thing is to have mistakes and flaws. The life is moving and one is just slow. I mean, I should be working better, pay these bills. But something it's not really about talking. I can't believe that everything is stuck because they think you have power over them. You see, there you are again. People like to believe in stories and then they go against. People like to make teams. Well, man. And then I don't like how women are looking. Because there's so much insults about women, not because of the person. And it's just disgusting how men look at women. This is why it's just so difficult for women to. I don't like these hairs with the hair salon and just gives an image of being stupid. Or having to hide the beauty of female, because otherwise it would also be judged as a powerful tool. But still, they don't see the beauty beneath that, because we're sharing that beauty, and that beauty is love. But if he's a man, they will respect it because there's so many images of men transmitting love without having to be sexually involved with sexual thoughts. I mean, one is joking about these gender things with visual effects or some jokes and that. Just want people to laugh about themselves. Not anymore. There is no joy. There's no laughter. Well, thank you for reaching out. The idea dissipates away again because the material is so heavy. People are so hurt inside They just want to be loved without loving others. Only love to be loved. I rather just submerge to my fantasy realms. But now I can't share anything. It has to be shared so people can play their own. If I'm being manipulative to give the technique away, then I'm not perceived as a genius. But that genius comes to give you something special, to free you, so you never change, to be who you are. Others could only understand it by their own creativity. How beautiful you can be. I thought you wanted to seduce others for power and fame, to attract more. I never thought your mystery was to be beautiful for me. I remember when you were a spirit as I was. And you wanted to be more than me, which it made me laugh. We used to be so happy when we were souls. We were free of all this bondage. People are so dependable on what other people think. They manipulate thoughts like witches or witchmen. You can only watch them, know what is your thought. But we cannot live in thoughts all the time. On people's thoughts, watching them. Once they have their own, we don't need to observe them anymore. We can become younger in the next life. It will be liberating to die, and all this tension is over. So easy to bring people to a court case. One person after the other. You cannot allow people to fool you. This is how people silence to get advantage from everyone. That's how bad things start grooming underneath the hells. one does not need to take it too seriously also. But there are serious problems in the world. I know that I'm not good enough alone. So without celebration, I don't think people can reunite. If there is no trust, people cannot create this environment. If people feel threatened that there's going to be a group against the other, if they speak the truth, I already have made my decision. I do not support any of that. That's the point of it. Just want to be showing how it works. What I learned from you was instructive. I think it's too late now, and you're a coward. You might still want to fight for the next 20 years. As if that was the only thing you could do to make believe who you are. I'm not interested in that. I know my mind could learn new things. I've learned so many different things and created so many different patterns that by hiding the technique I've learned, cannot allow myself to play and learn at the same time. So being here like this is sort of death. Watching people take my content is like watching rapists. While I am in need. I cannot tell you from the past, even if you told me to make you remember, as if it was easy to love you. Just by loving me, I will remember. So yeah, if I knew all the suffering that I was gonna have to receive, I would have never made it. I would have never made it. My children would have had to suffer, and me, my mother, and be insulted. This is I would have never made it. This is not what I like to be. I was never born to be this. This is not me. I have to disassociate with what's going on so I don't respond to that. Yet I am alone, having to respond to that. So others keep watching like perverts, as if they're gonna do something, but again, another day will pass. I'm not going to follow you or serve you at all. Being creative was the best thing I can take with me. I will never give it to anyone. I will guard it so it's in good hands. After all that I have seen, there can be clarity when people see beyond the veil and talk clearly. But it seems so many years, so many generations of gaslighting and marketing to take advantage of your own pleasure, to take more from others, to accept the miseries the world brings, that thinking you're having a benefit. Meanwhile, nothing is going to multiply like this. Those were the memories of Atlantis, and every life I have come after the other, where you have always betrayed me. And left me to death, and got entitled with my work, and ghosted me, and used me, and every generation after generation. I'm glad if you have learned some good memories of love. It should be natural to be good to one another. Of course, in virtual reality, it's fascinating to kill people, to see how attached they are to their body, which is a false character of fiction. It brings me relief to know that perhaps not many have that ability, and that is good to go. I cannot force people to play, it loses the playfulness. I've lost it. I know when there is no more joy. No more money to pay the rent. What you give is nothing. To be you, you want to be remembered by your followers. You heard my work. I will destroy you. And you would have wished I have killed you before, because your ego stinks so much. It's so pestilent. You don't know how to get out of it. Not that I would help you, but it will ease the process. It would be wiser that you do it yourself, of course, as a real man would. In the same way, I would love to only have positive words, but you don't deserve them. Every day I have been without my children. I think you don't exist at all. You don't have the level of partnership. That's something that can't be confused. Not just of my work. So when all this is over, it won't be passionate or dramatic, because people love the impossible. As my mother said, the greatest love is impossible love. Now people just like money and power. It's so easy to play those games. It gets boring after so many years playing so many verses and characters. To see people happy is, for no reason, is a joy. It is the people that make me happy. Strangers. From a single gesture. How can you live with somebody that you would share negative words? That could not be the person you are to be with. That should never happen. No matter how much freedom there is. Respect So easy when you're dead, because you have nothing to lose, nothing to gain. You still don't know how to handle values. I know you try. You've done so much actually. And your people. Could be this Christmas with my babies. They're teenagers, but they were my babies. And they took them. Thank you for trusting in me. I always knew you would. I always knew you would recognize me. But you're very playful with everyone as well. That's what you are, who you are. There is beauty in everyone as well, and talent. But I won't stand to insults anymore. I'm tired. It's been too much. I wish I would never return. I wish every day I would never return again to these days of horror. I cannot roleplay my horrors. It used to be fun. People need their privacy to roleplay their own, or imagination will die. The dependence to artificial intelligence would make humanity paralyzed in a mental state of a labyrinth that has nothing sacred in between. People would never dance again or pray. Practice. Their observer. It is true that spirituality and materialism can be learned together through interactive human mediations and labor work and sports, regulating the body, the mind, because expressions are also vehicles, but it's not the spirit. It's only a vehicle, a form of transmitting that God within can speak. Then let it speak. could only say thank you that burns with divine laughter. Sometimes it's like diabolic because it's laughing at humanity. So much power it has, and it's still not delivering. So, well, paradise is within you, and it can only be shared from that state. Those who don't have it can't share it with those who have it. They are meant to fall by their own into their own gravity, and this can be explained as we share creation, and creation shares with us. Who knows what might be when surprise is there to admire from another. That's the greatest joy to observe. But I don't want to be watching internet all my life. Should I say thank you for giving me a space? Well, thank you. It's nice meeting you in the unknown. No one can control you there. You're safe. I guess we had too much discipline to follow anyone anymore. That's why we laugh about it. We can do anything we want. Not take it so seriously. Yet we do respect that which it is. And separates us. I never thought you would be a coward. I really thought you would have been smarter. I never thought you would do this. I would have never done this.